Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California, Root Sports brings you Houston Astros baseball. It's the third and final game of this series, with the Astros still looking to break into the win column. Mike Fiers gets the assignment against left-hander Andrew Heaney. Hi, everybody. Alan Ashby and Jeff Blum with you. Did you see the night Carlos Correa had last night as he slammed his 18th home run as a rookie? Played some great defense. This guy has been astounding to watch day in, day out.
Really has. That number one pick overall, 2012, doing a great job. Had all that prospect status on him as he gets to the big leagues, and he has more than lived up to what I think all of us thought about Carlos Correa. He is a wonderful young man to talk to, handles himself great, but on the field is what you're most impressed with. I think he's got that clutch gene inside him. Broke it open last night, got that offense going for the Houston Astros. But what impresses me most about this kid is what he does in those clutch situations. And look at what he's doing as far as franchise home run leaders for rookies. He is creeping up, trying to get a hold of Lance Berkman's record. I plan on him passing Lance Berkman this season.
Coming up, Julia talks with A.J. Hinch on the recent close games. Then the Astros try to get a win over these Angels. Don't go away. $15 could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. By Texas Bay Credit Union. Texas Bay Credit Union is the official credit union of the Houston Astros. Join today. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. We're in Anaheim, California, Angel Stadium. Angels have taken the first two games of this series. The Astros trying to salvage one today. They start the day a game and a half in front of Texas and 3.5 in front of these suddenly upstart LA Angels of Anaheim. And we check in with Julia Morales as we get started for today's game.
Thank you, Ash. Yeah, just a word. I had just heard a couple of words throughout the dugout just now. We need a happy flight, happy flight. These guys could use one before they head to Texas in a huge series, and they're trying to bounce back once again from a one-run loss to this Angels team. And these wins they need very badly, and they're coming oh so close, and it could be daunting for this group. Here's A.J. Hinch with our Geico quote of the day.
No, they're hard because you're in the game, and one little break, one little pitch, one runner on second and 2 out base hit, and things can be a lot different. So, look, these are really difficult games, and we need to find a way to come out ahead. We've played these before. We've gone through these stretches where some tough losses have come our way. So it's time to adjust, and we'll bounce back, try to salvage a game tomorrow.
They look to do that right here in a few seconds. They're 19-25 this year in one-run games. The home road splits, though, for that record is something we're checking out. 13-7 in one-run games at Minute Maid Park. 6-18 in visiting parks. And AJ said something else. We're learning a lot about ourselves on this road trip. They need to get these wins, no matter how they coming up here as they head into a huge last leg of this road trip, guys. Up to you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Julia. And they have been tough losses, both 3-2 losses here to the Angels. A.J. Hinch and company grinding and trying to come up with any way to win the ball games. And that's what they will do again today as we take a look at our Astros starting lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines. For A.J. Hinch and company, they will line him up with George Springer in the top spot. He's in right. Second baseman Jose Altuve and Carlos Correa follow. He's the shortstop. Middle three, the DH Evan Gattis. Marwin Gonzalez is at first base. And in left field, Colby Rasmus. And the bottom three, third baseman Jonathan Villar today. Hank Conger again behind the plate. And Jake Marisnick gets the start in center.
Left-hander Andrew Heaney going for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Made his Angels debut against the Astros. Went 6 innings strong. 4 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. See who's playing defense behind him in the outfield. David Murphy, Mike Trout, Cole Calhoun across the infield. David Freese at third base. Eric Ibar at short. Taylor Featherston at second base. C.J. Cron out at first base. Carlos Perez again behind home plate.
So there's Andrew Heaney on the hill getting set for the first pitch here of the afternoon. Another hot one in Southern California. And those that are braving it today will be spending a lot of time in the sun as the first pitch is a strike on George Springer. Heaney is 24 years of age. Hails from Oklahoma City. Former number 1 pick of the Miami Marlins, 9th overall pick in 2012. 87 degrees at game time. And a muggy feel as well. 0-2 and Springer taking each of those pitches. Sometimes the message when you're losing ball games can get a little confusing. Are you supposed to be patient? Are you supposed to be aggressive? And sometimes for the guys it can be a little tough to figure out. Down on strikes. Good slider to get Springer out, number 1.
He's got a good slider. Numbers against it are great. See that rotation down and in. Does a good job of getting ahead early with that fastball, and that's where you expect the Astros to attack, is early to avoid getting to that slider.
Heaney strikes out about 6.5 per 9 innings, so not a big strikeout guy. But as Blummer says, that slider can be highly effective. Keeps the ball in the ballpark, allows just over 1 dinger per 9 innings. Jose Altuve stands in. He's 5th in the league in hitting at .312. He's aggressively after that first fastball. Miguel Cabrera leads at .349, followed by Xander Bogaerts, Michael Brantley, Lorenzo Cain, and then Jose Altuve. The Astros slammed a pair of home runs last night. This is an Astros team that back in early May, after a great start to the season, playing very well on the road, was 7 games in front. They have been 5.5 games in front recently, but now down to that 1.5 game margin. And now with the two teams chasing, the Texas Rangers and the Angels just 3.5 back. And I have to watch a couple of fronts.
Traffic is creeping up behind them.
Just getting underway. 3-2 the count on Altuve. Sits safely in his last 3. Lifetime .332 against the Angels. He draws the 1-out walk.
Interesting note is that Carlos Gomez is not in that 4-hole for the Houston Astros. They had optional BP today, and Carlos Gomez was out there taking BP, but tweaked an intercostal. I don't think it's anything major, just some discomfort, and I think that the Astros wanted to avoid making it worse than it actually was, keeping him out of the lineup today. So Gaddis will move into that 4 spot. Marisnik will hit 9th and play center field.
Jose Altuve had a stolen base in the first inning last night. He was called safe at second, but popped up off the bag. They reviewed it, and Altuve eventually called out, so he was caught stealing. The Astros remain number 1 in the American League in stolen bases. And Carlos Correa simply destroyed one to left field last night. His 18th Major League home run.
Now, some interesting numbers on those rookie home runs that you're talking about. 306 ABs for Carlos Correa. Berkman had 21 home runs in his rookie year and 353 at bats. But we got a key to the game. It's going to be jump on that fastball early. We saw that slider. It's going to be brought to you by Houston area Chevy dealers. But you want to attack Heaney's fastball early because of that slider we saw that put Springer away. And that's why that number on the right-hand side against that slider, $135 hitters are hitting against that slider. And the thing for me is pitch usage in that last start, around 64% fastballs. But when it got to 2 strikes, went down to 53.5% because the slider jumped from 20% to 35% with 2 strikes.
Correa takes strike 2. It's 1-2.
And getting back to those rookie home runs, you see Springer had 20 home runs and 295 at bats. He was getting after it.
He was letting it fly. There's no question. A lot of strikeouts, but boy, it's hard not to reflect back to Kansas City in particular. Seattle, KC last year when George Springer found it.
No, he took over.
He just flat took over the team and had a chance to be one of those guys that took over Major League Baseball with that kind of talent. Looking to see that come back for George. Close inside. That'll fill it 3-2. We'll see if Altuve might have a thought about running.
Pretty drastic crossfire delivery from Heaney also. Saw a lot of that from Hector Santiago last night.
Saw a lot of that from Jared Weaver in game 1 of the series. Correa 2 for 6 here in the series. Jared Weaver, and velocity wise not impressive anymore, but just keeps finding a way.
It's pretty impressive how he does it.
Altuve goes late as the pitch is fouled off. If Correa were to swing through that pitch or take it for a strike, Altuve didn't have much of a jump. And Carlos Perez behind the plate throws very well.
Yeah, but I think manager A.J. Hinch is gambling on that young man at the plate. Hit a bomb last night. He's had some solid at-bats on this stretch.
And the lob over. deliberate start here to the action as Altuve goes again. It's ball 4. Back-to-back walks. And that'll bring up the cleanup man, Evan Gattis. So Gattis will have a chance to stand in, not before Mike Butcher, the pitching coach, comes out to the mound. Gattis in September just 7 for 33. Does have 1 home run. And he's had his struggles against the Angels, and you wonder if the Angels could discuss anything about Evan Gattis, or is it all about Andrew Heaney right now?
Well, I think with back-to-back walks, it's all about Andrew Heaney. Get a chance to look at his numbers on the season, making his 15th start. At whip at 1.16, not bad. But yeah, the strikeout numbers aren't too high. The walk numbers are down, so he's around the plate.
Gattis has hit just 149 against the Angels on the season. And no long balls as he takes a strike.
Strike zone brought to you by M.D. Anderson shows you that that may not have been a strike. A generous call by Bellino.
Dan Bellino, the home plate umpire. Bruce Dreckman at first. At second, it's Alfonso Marquez. Tom Hallion, the crew chief, is at third.
This would be an interesting place for Altuve to run. Big right-handed hitter up third baseman, has to play a little bit deeper.
Fly ball shallow into center field. It's the shortstop Ibar, and he lets it drop. And now Altuve just stayed at second base. Infield fly. Has that been called on this play?
I believe so.
Apparently it is the infield fly. Second base umpire stayed back on the infield side of second base, but still made that call. Well, Mike Trout really laid back on that ball.
There was no effort on Mike Trout's part to come in and try and get this ball. I know it's a sun field for him, but Ibar running right into that same sun. And it's tough as an infielder when you're backpedaling like that.
Yeah, it looked as if Trout had it all sized up as a tough play in the sun and wanted no part of it. So that's 2 outs. Runners remain at first and second as Marwin Gonzalez comes to the plate. Marwin doing a very nice job playing at first base here recently. Watch him play down there, and he looks like a guy who's been there all his life. And with the bat, just keeps getting the job done.
From both sides, too.
However, 0 for his last 6. 10 home runs as he's joined that double-digit dinger club for the Astros. 11 guys on this club. This is one of those moments. If you're going to get it done, you need some big swings.
Now, we talked about the home runs being an asset for the Houston Astros, and it seems like they're a little more comfortable at home because they know they get that last at bat to try and drive one out, and obviously a home run friendly ballpark in Minute Maid Park. But you got to get those clutch hits with runners in scoring position, and it's tough when 2 outs to drive those runners in. Pitchers are amped up. They're trying to make a money pitch. But good ball clubs find ways to win.
So the Astros have had those comfortable leads earlier in the season, even recently, and now down to a game and a half. Does that change things? Are the guys dwelling on thoughts like that?
They're thinking about it. I don't know if they're dwelling on it, but they know about it.
Hit to center field on a line, but Trout into right center makes the play. Marwin hits it well. That'll do it for the Astros in the first inning. Couple of walks and they leave a pair. Scoreless after a half. And for the Angels and Mike Scioscia, their lineup. Cole Calhoun back in the top spot. He's in right. Center fielder Mike Trout follows. And then Albert Pujols, the DH. Middle of the order, left fielder David Murphy. C.J. Cron is at first base. And the shortstop Eric Ibar. In the bottom three, David Freese. He's the third baseman doing the catching. Carlos Perez and Taylor Featherston is at second.
Right-hander Mike Fiers going for your Houston Astros. Had a great month of August, going 2-0 with a 2.25 ERA. Had that no-hitter in the month of August. September greeted him kind of rudely. Last outing, he took his first loss in Oakland when it went 5 innings. Gave up 4 earned runs, threw 99 pitches in those 5 innings. So not only his first loss, but his shortest outing of the season for the Houston Astros.
30 years of age, making his 6th start now with the Astros, 7th appearance. And the first offering, high heat swung through by Cole Calhoun, who's put up some very good numbers this year. 23 dingers. He's driven in 75, hitting .269. Last year, a guy who took a lot of pitches, tried to draw walks. Now he's just simply driving the baseball. Shift on. Calhoun has taken advantage numerous times over the past couple of years, hitting balls to and through the left side. Changeup from Fiers. What an exciting time for Mike Fiers and his family and friends with that no-hitter. It was the first complete game for Mike Fiers. Strike 3 called, inside edge. Calhoun down on strikes. One of the things that Mike Fiers does very well, pick up the strikeouts.
Yeah, that deception. He has never faced the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, so this is the first time they get to see him. We'll check out the defense in the outfield. Some adjustments with Jake Marisnick moving to center field. Colby Rasmussen left, George Springer in right. Jonathan Villar at third base getting the start. Carlos Correa and Jose Altuve up the middle. Marwin Gonzalez playing a great first base, still there. And Hank the Tank behind home plate.
Pitch is slammed to left field by Trout. And getting out in a hurry. The big fly for Trout has the Angels on top of the first. 1-0. And for Mike Trout, that's number 35.
Fooling anybody there. Trout sitting dead red on that fastball. And just in case you forgot about him, he announced his presence here early. That was a bomb.
Been doing a lot of taking of pitches, strikes and otherwise. Not so here.
That's in his happy zone, down in the strike zone. Watch the location on this. Supposed to be down and away. It kind of tails back over the middle of the plate.
Albert Pujols pops up the first pitch. Marwin with the play. That's out number 2. But the crowd still buzzing on that home run by Mike Trout.
Here's a look at that pitch. See Conger setting up elevated, but that just tails right back down into that happy zone. We talked about how well Mike Trout can crush that pitch down in the zone. There's evidence.
2 outs for David Murphy. Fiers finds the strike zone. Good changeup, and that's oftentimes a key pitch for Mike Fiers. Talk about the strikeouts over his career, 5 years. He has struck out just over a man an inning. So he is one of those big strikeout guys, despite the fact that his fastball sits around 90 miles an hour. He's one of 20 major league starters with a strikeout rate of 9 per 9 innings this year. fact, he ranks 10th in that category. That's since 2011. Here are the names that he trails. Yu Darvish, Chris Sale, Steven Strasburg as the ground ball comes back to the mound. Toss to first base. Marwin has to adjust to make the play, but that'll do it. A one-out home run hit by Mike Trout is 35th on the year, and the Angels take the early 1-0 lead.
Teamed up to help you show your team spirit. Free Houston Astros Crush City yard signs are now available at participating Houston area Academy sports and outdoor locations while supplies last. For a list of participating stores, visit rootsports.com/yard signs. Quantities are limited, so get yours fast before they run out. And we want to see pics of your yard signs, so tweet us your pics, like this one. Check out little Annie. Annie with the yard sign there, guys. Looking good.
Looking real good.
I like Annie a lot. 1-0 Angels. Mike Trout quickly puts his stamp on the ball game with a home run, his 35th. For the Astros, 6-7-8 coming up here in the second inning. Colby Rasmus leads off against the lefty. Again, the first two games of the series, 3-2 wins for the Angels. Obviously, it's tough losing. It's tough losing close games time and time again.
Yeah, those things gnaw at your soul.
Shot to right center. That's in the gap. And drops cut off by Calhoun. And he'll spin and get it back in. Leadoff single for Rasmus. First hit against Andrew Heaney.
He's got pretty good numbers against left-handed pitching. If you're wondering why he's in that lineup, you can take a look at that swing. That's that fastball early in the count. Does a good job of keeping that front shoulder closed, driving it in that gap. But how about Colby Rasmus's OPS against left-handed pitching is at 763. That's higher than against right-handed pitchers for Colby Rasmus. Now, if you ask about Preston Tucker, his OPS against left-handed pitching, 466.
Both guys seem to keep that front side in quite well against the lefties.
Colby a little bit better.
Hank Conger stands in. And like Carlos Correa, Hank Conger had a big home run last night. Well, they did rotate these two guys. It's Jonathan VR at the plate now. Excuse me. Blummer mentioned that lineup change as Carlos Gomez went down with injury today. So Jonathan VR at the plate. On this road trip, had that pinch hit home run in Oakland. And if nothing else, the Astros have hit some monster home runs. That was one of them. And that home run came from the right side of the plate for VR. He's got some very good power from this side of the plate. Sees the count even at 2-2.
Good pitch from Heaney. 2-1 count. I'm sure VR was sitting on that heater.
Caught looking VR. Second strikeout for Heaney, and first out here in the second inning.
Guys at Crossfire have a pretty good opportunity to come inside to right-handed pitchers. Right-handed hitters. The down and in, perfect location. Set them up with that breaking ball before with that 2-1 count. Get the hitter confused, and that's what happens right there. Looking for the break, and it doesn't.
And now it's Hank Conger. The insertion in the lineup with Gomez going down was Jake Marisnick, who now waits on deck.
Hank had a big bomb from this right-hand side last night. Hit the ball well 3 times. The home run was the only one that paid off for him.
A bit right of straightaway center field last night. And way out of here.
Ooh.
Heaney's pumping that inside edge. He misses. It's 2 balls and no strikes.
That Crossfire, and he's on that first base side of the rubber, so that angle that he creates coming to that inside corner is tough to square up for a right-handed hitter.
And now 3-0. Texas Rangers are hosting Oakland once again, and the Rangers have jumped on top 1-0. They're in the top of the 4th inning in Arlington. Woo. 3-1 on Hank. Colby Rasmus with pretty good speed at first base.
Right at the very bottom of that strike zone. It's all right. 3-1 count. Make him come back with a fastball. Conger's been swinging the bat well right-handed.
Pops it up right side. Crone, the first baseman, in foul territory, makes the catch. Second out of the inning, and that brings up Marisnick. In that Texas Rangers game, the Rangers' run came via home run by Shin-Soo Choo. And another one of our...
Julia asks, and she will receive. A couple of yard sales. How about the gnome in front of the yard sign right there? You got to love that. But well represented. Crush City.
Academy Sports and Outdoors. They've still got some of the signs left.
Got to be going quick.
Marisnick takes a ball. There's a surprising number on Jake against left-hand pitching, hitting just 197. But does have 7 of his home runs against the lefties. Hitters count 2-0 on Jake. It's Chichi Gonzalez going for the Texas Rangers today against Oakland's Felix Doubront. 1-0 Texas. They're in the 4th inning. Good swing by Marisnick. Jake trying to join that double-digit home run club, and he would be the 12th guy on the team to do so. It would set the all-time mark for the Astros in that regard. Hit high in the air to center field. Trout is there. And that'll do it. One time through the order for Heaney. He has shut the Astros down. 1-0 Angels on a Trout dinger.
Up that pitching last night. Carlos Correa taking control of that pop fly. This was a big one right here to lay out in that inning. A couple base runners on. And how about the athleticism of Jake Marisnick? Goes down to a knee, pops back up, makes a routine play all over the place.
C.J. Cron at the plate. He's the guy that hit the home run to give the Angels the 3-2 lead in the 8th inning. And then they just simply put it in the hands of closer Houston Street, who locked it down for a second straight night. 2-0 the count. Cron, Ibar, and Freeze for the Angels here in the second. Crushed to left field. If it's fair, and it is, it's a dinger. Second of the afternoon for the Angels. Each one solo jobs, and a 2-0 Angels lead here in the second.
Continuing what he did last night. Hitting that big home run off of Will Harris to put the Angels ahead to win that ball game. Here, tees off again. Big bomb to the left, make that score 2-0.
13th of the year for Cron.
Hanging slider backed up over the middle of the plate.
So the Angels playing the long ball game here this afternoon. They're 6th in the American League in home runs. They now have 147. You compare that to 195 with the Astros. C.J. Cron has been one of the guys proving to be big now for the Angels down the stretch. Ibar pops it up, shallow in center field. It's Correa drifting to make the play, and out number 1. Check in with Julia once again.
Thanks, Ash. Make memories at an Astros ball game with our family-friendly activities at every Sunday home game presented by Kroger. The next Sunday home game of the season is Sunday, September 20th, when the Astros take on the A's. For more info, visit astros.com/Sundays or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Thank you, Julia. You sound close. Must be right below us here.
Yeah, it's hot. I don't blame her if she's hiding out somewhere.
Third baseman David Freese stands in. Freese has 11 home runs, hitting .255 on the year. Former St. Louis Cardinal and big star in the postseason for St. Louis. A changeup quite effective now for Mike Fiers.
Showing good command of it too early on. Not afraid to throw it right on right.
Yeah, I think that's a big key too.
Just adds another pitch that hitters have to worry about.
Fastball almost gets a piece of the Angels' third baseman. Freese has played a lot against the Astros on his career. This is the 62nd game against Houston. Has 8 home runs, and he's had a great time. He's hit .329 against Astros pitching. In the air down the right side, slicing to the seats. Count stays at 2-2.
That's where a majority of David Freese's power is too. Loves going the other way.
Had 2 hits in last night's game, 1 in the opener of the series. Fiers brings the 2-2. And line to right field by Freese. So exactly what you're talking about. Tough pitch down and away. And Freese just lays the bat out there.
That's where Conger's set up, and that's where the pitch goes. Just a better job by David Freese going with it. Doesn't have to do too much in that 2-strike count. Just get the barrel on it. Swing naturally takes the baseball that way.
Freese had a slow start to the season, but in September, hitting close to 400 now. I'll bring up the catcher, Carlos Perez, 1 out. A run in on that home run by C.J. Cron. David Freese down at first base has stolen just 1 base. Well spotted, a ball and a strike. Perez hitless in the series. On his brief major league career, 3 home runs. Just the first year in the bigs for Carlos Perez. There goes Freese as the pitch is fouled off. So the Angels with the 2-0 lead play a little running game here in the second.
Bad idea. Create some open spaces for Carlos Perez to try and shoot.
Carlos Perez now in his 71st game for the Angels this year. Out on the hands, it's popped up. A lot of tough plays. This one, Altuve's, he makes it over the shoulder. And George Springer was coming on hard.
I think that's what Altuve was looking at. He knew he might have a shot at it, but with George Springer out there in right field running as well as he does and making some fantastic plays, Altuve gave it a peek and then took over. Good play.
Yeah, you can also see that George read it well and peeled off at the right time.
Well, that makes it interesting. It's not your standard outfield procedure to have a corner outfielder that doesn't run well. George is a great athlete, gets to the baseball well, like you said, gets good jumps, so it makes it interesting when infielders have to go into the outfield to try and make a play.
Houston area guy Taylor Featherston at the plate. here in September has done a pretty good job hitting .242. A couple of RBIs. We saw him make a very nice play at second base a couple of nights ago.
That was on a hard hit ball by Carlos Correa, moving to his left. I always thought that was the best part about playing second base, is all you had to do was get that ball in your glove because that throw was so short.
Yep. We saw Featherston come up with a game-winning hit against the Astros last time the Astros were in town, the final game of that series. In extra innings, just looped one over first base, picked up an RBI, his only of the season against Houston. Has 4 doubles on his year, a triple and 1 home run. Dribbler staying fair, and fires, makes a play and the tag, and that'll do it for the Angels. They get a run, however, as the leadoff man, C.J. Cron, launched one to left field. A couple of solo home runs for the Angels as they lead it 2-0.
Your local Honda dealer. Here are your clues for the day. He played for 4 major league teams. He's a 2008 World Series champ. He's from Jacksonville, Florida. Tweet us your best guess. I'll tell you who it is later in the broadcast.
Got that one, Blummer?
Let the grind begin. I do not.
2-0 Angels. We go to the 3rd inning. George Springer leads it off. Strikeout victim in the 1st inning. 1 of 2 recorded by Andrew Heaney. Letting it fly here in the 3rd inning. Springer fouls it back.
Good swing.
It's one guy that I'd love to see find a way to unleash the beast. Up the middle, that's a base hit. So Springer's 1 for 2. He's aboard with nobody out for Jose Altuve.
Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Springer with 14 stolen bases, caught 5 times this year. Make that 3 times. Altuve drew a walk in the 1st inning. For Jose, that batting average at .312. And we mentioned it, 5th in the American League. Hits it in the air, right field. Calhoun stalking and makes the play. One out, it brings up Carlos Correa. Correa, like Altuve, walked in the first. .275 batting average, 18 home runs, 52 ribbies. On base percentage, .345. Playing a very good shortstop. At times absolutely spectacular. But we've talked about it, Blummer, the Astros needing the big swing. And Correa's the rookie, but you get the sense he might be the guy that's prepared to provide those big swings.
Oh, he's already done it for me. A couple of bombs he's hit in Oakland in key situations that they've needed. But he had one when he first couple weeks he was up. We were in Boston. He hit a big 3-run jack out there in Boston. So this kid recognizes where he's at in that lineup and the expectation upon him, and he loves it. Much to the delight of A.J. Hinch.
You were talking about the home run in Oakland. That was game one. The Astros wound up losing 10-9 in that game, but Carlos had that shot. That was a 3-run job. He had 4 RBIs in the game. And he does. He does, and seems to be that guy that is just game and anxious to get up there and take the big swings. Out in front on the off speed.
Good changeup. Arm action and location. Just pulls the string. Very nicely done.
Couple of home runs in his last 5 games for Carlos. Stays on it this time as he fouls it down the right side. And I think one of the reasons, to my eye, that I see Carlos in terms of batting average and just being a really good hitter for a long time is his ability and his knowledge to stay on pitches, go the other way late in counts.
That is very true. That's a good sign.
Foul tip hung on to by Perez, and that's going to be strike 3. And excuse me, check swing foul tip. Second out of the inning, 3 strikeouts now for Heaney.
Man, that's a tough break. You could hear it up here in the booth. It clipped part of the barrel. Much to the disappointment of Carlos Correa. It's tough. You start your swing, you're trying to get out of the way, and it ends up with a strikeout.
And now Evan Gattis stands in. Leads the team with 23 dingers. Pops it foul on the right side, and that's back out of play.
Some guesses on that name, the Astro. Brad Lidge, good guess. Bruntlett, another good guess. Brett Myers. All those guys have something in common, huh? Ex-Astros, ex-Phillies.
Offering on the low pitch. 0-2 on Evan.
It's tough to tell with him cross-firing which one's the slider, which one's the changeup. Because there's pretty good depth on both those pitches right now for Heaney.
It was Gattis who hit the pop fly that dropped in shallow center field in the first inning. Eventually called an infield fly. There goes the runner at first, Springer. So Springer moving on an 0-2 pitch to Gattis. Evan Gattis came up with the Atlanta Braves in 2013. And he showed right away that he could hit the long ball. Had 21 that year. 22 last year with Atlanta, and now 23 with the Astros. Again, Springer on the move. Hot shot to short. Ibar gets up and gets his man. Heck of a play by Ibar at shortstop on a sharply hit ball by Evan Gattis. The Astros with a hit and leave a man through 2.5. 2-0 Angels.
...1965 at the Astrodome facing Don Knotbart. The Say Hey Kid becomes the 5th player in Major League history to hit 500 career home runs.
A lot of people from those days say Willie Mays was the greatest player they ever saw. A lot of people will say Mickey Mantle, and make your own pick. Hank Aaron on a lot of those lists. Babe Ruth. We're in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Angels leadoff man Cole Calhoun stands in. Strikeout victim in the 1st. The only strikeout recorded by Mike Fiers through one time through the rotation, or the order rather. But Mike Trout and C.J. Cron each with home runs, solo jobs. They're in the bottom of the 5th now in Arlington, and the Rangers have increased their lead 3-0. They're on top of the Oakland A's. The Yankees stopped the slide against the Blue Jays. The Yankees win today 5-0.
The news on Troy Tulowitzki.
That cracked shoulder blade, and
wow,
yeah, that's going to be rough,
especially this time of year. There's a big bat in that lineup.
They said he was even having possibly a larger impact with his defense, playing very well. Mentioned the Shin-Soo Choo home run for the Rangers. That came in the 1st inning, made it 1-0 Texas. And then Adrian Beltre hit a 2-run shot in the 4th inning. And again, 3-0 Texas. Strike 3 called. So Calhoun has gone down a couple of times here this afternoon. 1 out in the 3rd.
Both times looking, too. Fiers doing a good job of setting him up and being deceptive with it. Didn't exactly hit his spot, but just out fought Cole Calhoun, locking him up.
Mike Trout stands in. Launched the first thing he saw in the 1st inning. One of the rare times he swings on first pitches.
The last time he did that was 2013.
To hit a first pitch for a home run.
Yep.
Number 35 on the year for Trout. Big swing as he fouls it back.
That's how many home runs Mike Trout has in his last 34 games.
Not many.
2.
Two balls and a strike. Albert Pujols to follow here in the third inning. Again, a good swing. Count even at 2-2. Trout hitting .293.
With that home run, Mike Trout is the first player since Alex Rodriguez to log back-to-back 35 home run campaigns before his 24-year-old season.
Pretty good stuff.
He's doing some damage early on in your career.
Well, he's got all the tools to be one of the great ones. MVP a year ago. Down on strikes. He does strike out a lot. 3 strikeouts now for Fiers. 2 outs as Albert Pujols stands in.
Great pitch. I think that's what Fiers was trying to get back to, was that changeup. We talked about how he's got a good one today, not afraid to throw it to either side of the plate. But a great pitch down and in. Gutsy too. You leave that up out of the plate, it gets destroyed, but good depth on it today.
Pujols popped to first in the first inning. Hitting .248 on the year. And like Mike Trout, Pujols with 35 home runs. Ball and a strike on Albert. Just a phenomenal career. And yet you have to ask, how many more years can the Angels get out of Albert Pujols? Came to the Angels signing a 10-year contract. This is his 4th year of that 10-year deal.
The only question you have is health. Those feet have been a huge issue for Albert Pujols in the last 3 years. Finally having surgery on that plantar fasciitis he had last year. Now he's got big toe issues. But eventually he's going to turn into an all-time DH for the Angels, that's for sure. Get him off his feet and keep him from playing first base.
10 years, $240 million. So the Angels have got some big coins sitting out there in the future to pay to Pujols.
At least he's on their roster. There's a guy they're going to pay a hefty chunk of change that's not even on their roster.
Josh Hamilton.
He's not on anybody's roster.
Moved on to the Texas Rangers. Played a little bit. Ground ball left side. VR with the play. And that'll do it for the Angels. A 1-2-3 third inning. Turn in by Mike Fiers. It's 2-0 Angels on top.
AAA affiliate, the Fresno Grizzlies, have advanced to the championship series, but they will have to try to win it all without their MVP. The PCL MVP, Matt Duffy, expected to join the club tomorrow. The Astros purchasing his contract. Corresponding will be move will be made tomorrow. And Duffy, third baseman, but can play first and third. You see his numbers there: 20 homers, 104 RBI. That's through the playoff games that he did play in. But a little bit of a reward for this guy, but the team could also use him in that kind of production. Not sure when he'll get in that lineup to make his debut with all those lefties coming up, but will be definitely an exciting day for Matt Duffy tomorrow, guys.
It's going to be an exciting day for everybody.
Thanks, Julia. Marwin Gonzalez leads it off and pops up the first pitch. Carlos Perez, the catcher, comes back and runs out of room, and a nice catch by a fan with his cap.
It was. And Duffy, if you're wondering, played 75 games at third base and 33 games at first base.
Marwin hit one sharply as he flied to right center field in the first inning. You know, we've talked about how well Marwin has played at first base. He hadn't even started at first base in a game in the major leagues prior to this year. Had played just one previous inning over there, but that's how valuable he's been to this team, playing all over the place. But you can say that about some guys, but do they get the job done with the bat? Marwin has. Survives that pitch just under the knees. It's Marwin, Rasmus, and VR here in the fourth inning. Off speed gets him. 4 strikeouts for Heaney. Out number 1 here in the fourth.
2016 Astros season tickets are on sale now. Guarantee your seats for a potential 2015 postseason run by reserving your 2016 season tickets today. Visit astros.com/season tickets or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Colby Rasmus has picked up one of the 2 Houston hits on the day. Led off the second inning with a solid base hit into right center. Bunts one third base side. This is going to be tough to get him. Heaney with the play and can't get it done. Second hit of the day for Colby Rasmus, 2 for 2 against the lefty, and takes advantage of the shift scenario. Maybe doesn't bunt it as sharply as he wanted to.
Yeah, but again, it doesn't have to be perfect, even though that was a pretty good bunt. Colby's speed beats it out easy. Houston Methodist is going to help us get to know JV Jonathan VR. Favorite baseball player, Robinson Cano, acquired from Philadelphia in the Roy Oswalt trade. Favorite meal? Yeah. You go ahead and pronounce that one. Habichuela y carne. About that.
Habichuela.
Nope. My bad.
Rice, beans, and meat, huh?
You tell me.
See if that translates into a big swing here. It's a base hit. Call it what you want, but it's another knock for the team. Back-to-back hits, runners at first and second. And with 1 out, Hank Conger comes to the plate.
Location got that drawn in third baseman, hit a bullet right by him. Good piece.
The Astros had 2 aboard in the first inning. A couple of walks. Altuve and Correa picked up those free passes. And now 2 men aboard here in the 4th inning. Hank Conger with those 11 dingers on his season. He needs the bases loaded.
Yeah, I had to settle for that solo jack last night.
The Astros have 4 grand slams, 2 owned by Conger. Say this of the Angels pitching here in the series. They have worked that inside edge or just off it quite a bit. Conger out in front a bit. Hank's a local boy here. Went to high school in Huntington Beach. And of course played for the Angels last year. Other players involved in the deal, but Carlos Perez, the catcher for the Angels, going the other direction in that deal. Two and two on Conger. And this one hits Hank.
Man. It's going to hurt Hank's running game.
You know, that's his run for the moment as he heads on down to first base. And that will load him up for Jake Marisnick.
That is not fun. Direct hit on that left foot for Hank Conger.
Brings out the pitching coach, Mike Butcher. Hank says, 2 thumbs up, everything's good. Marwin started the inning striking out, then Colby Rasmus with a bunt single. Jonathan Villar finds a hole on the left side, and Conger hit by the pitch. Now a chance to make something happen.
Well, they got the base runners on. Only got 1 out. Priority is that runner at third base. Find a way to get him in. That would cut this lead in half against the Angels.
The Astros are now 6th in runs scored in the American League. Well, if Marisnick is going to join that double-digit dinger club, this wouldn't be a bad time at all. .195 home runs for the Astros, second best in the league. Only the Toronto Blue Jays have hit more. Texas Rangers keep swinging the bats. They lead at 6-0 now in the 5th inning over the Oakland A's. About the Boston Red Sox and Tampa Bay Rays scoreless now in the top of the 12th inning. It's getaway day.
Working that inside corner again.
They just keep pounding back in there.
You set them up, throw that fastball in there, you start getting that front hip leaking out, trying to combat that fastball in, and then you sneak that slider and change up, and once that front hip is gone, you lose the barrel.
Minnesota leads at the White Sox 7-0 in the 8th inning, and the Twins, one of the teams vying for a chance to make it via the wild card. In fact, they're 1 game in front of these Angels in that wild card chase. Half swing. No appeal on that half swing. 2-2 now on Jake.
How about your late addition to the lineup? Hidden in that 9 hole, and now you've got the bases juiced, a chance to have an impact. Baseball's a crazy game. It'll find you and put you in those situations.
popped up. Right there near home plate. Perez will make the play. And a crucial second out here in the inning. Bases still juiced now for George Springer.
That's the tough part about trying to hit that fastball in. Kind of cut your swing off to get to it, pop it up. It's a big second out for Heaney. Now you got to force out at any base. The only problem is you got a guy like George Springer at the plate who is quite dangerous.
George is 1 for 2 on the afternoon, a strikeout and a single. Starting to get more consistent good swings now. By the way, back on that wild card theme, the Yankees and the Texas Rangers are the two teams at the moment that would be in, followed by Minnesota a game back and these Angels 2 games back. Off speed on the inside edge.
Smart pitch.
.258 the batting average now for George. This would seem to be a really big at bat. You don't know how many times you're going to get men in scoring position. And A.J. Hinch talked last night about how the team has to find a way to get it done when you've got those chances. It's a big swing, but coming up with nothing.
It's an interesting thing. Sometimes in those at bats that we're seeing right now from George Springer, he does a good job of slowing the eyes down, the swing down of George Springer with those first 2 pitch off speed pitches, and then comes with the fastball. Looks like it's got a little bit of extra life on it, but a healthy hack from George Springer. Now you just need Andrew Heaney to make a mistake and have George square it up.
Boy, that's close to take with a couple of strikes. And Springer gets away with it. Heaney had gone 15 feet away from the mound heading toward the third base dugout.
Oh, that is going to get an earful. Dan Bellino is going to hear about this one out of that LA dugout, because we've seen that pitch called in this game. And this is a big spot too. Everybody in this ballpark knows it, and you know Mike Scioscia knows it. He wanted that pitch for his pitcher, ex-catcher.
The Astros have got to find a way to loosen it up with a couple of strikes on those pitches.
This might be the way. Got the call right there. He'd make him throw another pitch.
And now 3-2. That'll put the runners in motion. Rasmus from third, VR from second, and Conger from first.
And I would imagine that Heaney's got to come to the house right now. You do not want to walk in and run. Get a guy like Jose Altuve at the dish, who's a career 350-plus hitter against left-handers. This is a big pitch right here.
Runners go. Pitch is popped up. Shallow and right. Featherston with the play. Couple of pop-ups, Marisnick and Springer, and the bases loaded but stranded. Through 3.5, 2-0 Angels.
Brought to you by your local Honda dealer. He's a 2008 world champ from Jacksonville, Florida. Your Astro is Brett Myers, playing for 4 different teams there. Ash, up to you.
Thank you, Julia. Did you get a lot of Brett Myers coming your way?
Yeah, I did.
David Murphy leads it off here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Pops one into shallow left. 1 pitch, 1 out. It'll bring up C.J. Cron, who did some launching in the 2nd inning, a solo home run. His dinger and that of Mike Trout, giving the Angels the 2-0 lead. So the folks were on it a bit.
Yeah, they were. Quite a few Brett Myers guesses.
Cron now with 13 homers, 273 batting average. Mike Fiers has been in the strike zone today, not a single walk. That curveball is raked but foul.
How about Frank down the line? He's got sleeves and a jacket on. So ball boy gutting it out on a hot day like this.
Occasional chill passing through here this afternoon. Out on the hands, Blummer with a play. Can't quite make it.
Too busy trying to save Quiggs. Oh.
Took it on the right hand. If you'd have had the left hand there, you had your play. Let's see what Jeff Blum does in terms of trying to get in front and make the play.
It's a danger zone up here. We've been attacked quite often up here. Yet to make a play, but try to knock it down. We got you, Quiggs. Come in for the real thing, buddy.
Quiggs, I saw you calling from under the desk there. 1-2 the count now on Cron.
No broken bones to report. We're good.
Those baseballs coming at you like that, they look a little different than they do when you're just watching down on the field, right?
Just a little bit. Yeah, I've yet to get used to this angle. Two and
2 the count. Eric Ibar waits on deck. 2 runs, 3 hits for the Angels. No runs on 4 hits for Houston. Cron down on strikes. That's 4 now for Fiers.
Pretty good at bat on both sides. Fiers wins the battle. Good location on that fastball.
Eight 8-0 Texas Rangers now in the 5th inning. They lead the Oakland A's. So the Rangers appear to be trying to apply some heat on this Sunday afternoon. September 13th. October 4th will be the final day of the regular season. Following today's game, the Astros, well, let's see, today is number 143. So following today's game, 18 to play.
Plenty of season left still.
Oh, 2 the count on Ibar. He popped to short in the 2nd inning. Shallow into right center field. Nobody's there as it drops. All about placement for Eric Ibar. 2-out single. And the 4th hit for the Angels. Ibar can run a bit, and we've talked a lot about the possibilities of the running game for opposing teams, with Hank Conger having thrown out just one base runner all year. And we just haven't been seeing as much of the running game as we might have expected.
Well, we've seen Conger enough that we know that he's having a tough time throwing guys out. So we anticipate other teams getting that same scouting report. That's why we are kind of shocked to see them not running as often. But when you want to run early in those counts, so you give the hitter a chance to drive you in with a couple more pitches.
Ibar has stolen 11 this year in 16 tries. The Angels, however, as a team, are second to last, 14th in the American League in picking up stolen bases. Mike Scioscia just doesn't have the personnel to make it happen. He's a manager that loves to run.
Oh, early on in his managing career here in Anaheim, they preached going first to third, getting an extra 90 feet anytime they could.
Ground ball to short on the short hop. Correa takes it, feeds on to Altuve. That'll do it on the force play. A hit as the Angels leave a man through 4. 2-0. LA Angels. Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by Big Time Bats. Craig Biggio Louisville Slugger Hall of Fame bat is now available. Call 866-490-BATS, B-A-T-S. Or see it at bigtimebats.com. Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California. Side of Game 3 between the two clubs. Angels taking each of the first two with a 3-2 score and leading 2-0 as we go to the 5th inning. Jose Altuve, Carlos Correa, and Evan Gattis here in the inning. Andrew Heaney has danced through it. He had the bases loaded in the 4th inning, 1 out, but Jake Marisnick popped out, and then George Springer on a 3-2 pitch with the runners in motion popped out. Ball and strike on Jose. He is walked and flied out. The Angels are right in the middle of the pack, 7th in ERA in the American League at 3.88. Line shot to the gap in left center field. And this one goes to the wall. Altuve, extra bases, has a leadoff double here in the 5th. Just another one of those Altuve hits.
Little fella can hit. Numbers keep piling up, and that hit column really doesn't do too much with the body. That was all hands for me, reaching out and getting that fastball down and away and ripping it into that open gap. Good start to this inning. Just keep that train moving. Don't try and do too much. Just keep trying to shoot those gaps with good, solid line drives.
173 hits for Altuve. That's his 31st double. Carlos Correa at the plate. He's walked and struck out. Struck out with a check swing and, ball tipping bat and hung on to by the catcher. One and one on Carlos. Altuve at second base with 37 stolen bases to lead the league. And now 2-1, good hitters count for Correa.
Found in these situations sometimes like a 1-0 count, 2-1 count. Yeah, the pitcher doesn't want to go to that 2-0, 3-1 count like in this situation. Maybe throw that fastball for a strike, but also play on the aggressiveness and throw a changeup.
On the ground at third, Freeze with the play. He'll hold Altuve and get out number one.
Join the Astros on Saturday, September 19th, as they take on the A's. 10,000 fans will receive an Evan Gattis bobblehead presented by AT&T. For more information, visit Astros.com or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Evan Gattis has popped out and grounded out. Nice play on the ground out on a sharply hit ball in the third inning. That play made by Ibar at short. Fernando Salas and Hector and Jose Alvarez throwing in the Angels' pen. So they've got a righty and a lefty up now in the 5th inning. Gattis takes the off speed for a strike. Outfield just about straight away. Trout in center field, maybe a step or two toward left as Gattis fouls it off. Fifth inning, 2-0 Angels. 2 solo home runs. Mike Trout and C.J. Cron, and that's been it.
Featherston actually wanted a pickoff right there. I don't think Jose Altuve was all that far off.
Most pitchers are really reluctant to make that play. At least that's my experience. Fly ball to center field. Trout angling his body to keep his eyes away from the sun a bit. Makes the catch. Holding at second, Altuve. So 2 outs now as it brings up Marwin Gonzalez. Marwin has lined to center and struck out. Where is that big swing?
Or that's maybe the problem. If they're looking for the big swing and taking big swings instead of trying to cut down and hit line drives back up the middle.
You know, you have those days where you maybe get a blowout or just start scoring a bunch of runs, and it happens one after another. You don't have everybody saying, well, maybe I'll be the guy to come up with the big swing. You just keep taking big swings. And
well, and we've talked about it extensively on how the Astros live and die by that home run. They don't rely on that runner in scoring position, batting average being overly high. They sit back, dip and drive.
Popped up down the right side. Crone on the move. And off the tip of his glove, it kicks into the seats.
That would have been a heck of a play.
Yes, it would have been. Well, the Astros live to get another swing here.
Supermo brought to you by Mattress Firm, just off the tip. And you know, those are those seats and that come onto the field that haven't been there in the past, I believe. I'm not sure how long they've had them here, but they add those for teams that are going to the postseason, camera wells. But that one row of seats is not there. That's an out.
Up the middle. Handled by Featherston. The throw not in time. Infield single from Marwin, and a very nice effort there by Taylor Featherston. Into third base Altuve with 2 outs, so runners at the corners for Colby Rasmus.
Well, that's the first base hit for the Houston Astros with a runner in scoring position today. But it's not enough to drive that run in, just enough to extend that inning. Credit Marwin for the hustle. Credit C.J. Crone for picking that ball, too. If that gets by him, that's an easy run for Altuve.
Colby Rasmus 2 for 2 on the day. Single in the second, bunt single in the 4th inning. Foul ball. Ooh. It gets by Crone, but it's just foul. Isn't that the way it goes when you're...
Oh, yeah.
You're playing well. You're talking about the Angels right now winning the first 2 games of the series. It feels like the critical plays are going their way.
They're making all the plays when they have to. They're getting all the calls when they need them.
Saw the I-bar ground ball over the bag or outside of the bag last night. Wound up being a double, a big one in a 2-run inning. And the question was it really a fair ball?
Yeah, I agree with you on that. That was a tough call.
Ball on the strike.
Tell you what, if Colby can just get blown up somehow and get it past the pitcher Heaney, it's going to be a run easy with that shift on. Freeze playing in to protect that bunt here too.
That pitch on the hands. It's 1-2 on Colby. Colby just 1 home run shy of 20 on his season. Been over the 20 mark 3 times on his major league career. Boy, that one was close.
Making Heaney work. Good eye. Just off that outside edge. Wow. Man, how do you lay off that as a hitter? That's what impresses me most. Is it not even an offer from Colby?
How do you lay off that as an umpire? And really, it was about the same margin there as George Springer got away with.
Yep.
3-2 the count. That'll have Marwin in motion. And there he goes. Pitch hit hard to right center field. Trout on the move and gets there to make the play. Rasmus gives it a ride, but that'll do it. A couple of hits. The Astros lead 2. Through half a ball game, it's 2-0. The Angels leading it.
Root Sports and Academy Sports and Outdoors have teamed up to help you show your team spirit. Free Houston Astros Crush City yard signs are now available at participating Houston area Academy Sports and Outdoors location while supplies last. For a list of participating stores, visit rootsports.com/yard signs. Quantities are limited, so get yours fast before they run out. Keep tweeting us your picks, too. Like that one. Looks good, representing.
Yeah, keep them coming, gang. Another foul ball back near us. Carlos Perez, the catcher, leading off here in the 5th inning, followed by Taylor Featherston and Cole Calhoun. A couple of long balls for the Angels. That's been it. Mike Trout in the first, his 35th. C.J. Cron leading off the 2nd inning, his 13th. The Astros had the bases loaded. 1 out in the 4th inning. And a couple of pop-outs later, nothing on the board. Oh, and 2 on Perez. Angels catcher 0 for his last 10 with the bat.
Astros scored 20 runs in 2 games in that Oakland series. Only getting 1 win out of that series, and now first 2 games here in Anaheim, 2 runs apiece, and now being shut out through 5.
Perez hits it in the air to right field. Springer with the play. First out of the 5th. It'll bring up the 9-hitter, Taylor Featherston, the second baseman. He also is 0 for his last 10. Yeah, generally speaking for the Astros, when the comment has been made, the difference in the ballgame, a couple of home runs, it would have been the benefit of the Astros. Not so today.
Yeah, it's just interesting how baseball works out. The pitching faltered a little bit in Oakland. Made the adjustment here, giving up 3 runs in those first 2 games. You think that the offense, the way it was going, would be able to pick up the pitching, but now the offense has gone cold. So it's trying to find that right balance and consistency for the Astros.
The Oakland A's have put 3 on the board, trying to tighten things up with the Texas Rangers. It's now 8-3 Texas. Top of the 6th inning. And Featherston down on strikes. Second out of the inning. That's 5 strikeouts for Fiers.
It's time for the Toyota drive to the playoffs. Look at those standings that we keep talking about. Things tightening up a little bit. Rangers creeping back in there. If things finish right now, they would be a half game back the Houston Astros when that series starts in Arlington. Big 4-game set. Matt Duffy's going to make an appearance in the big leagues for the Houston Astros. The Yankees fending off the Toronto Blue Jays today.
Cole Calhoun offers on the first pitch right on that inside edge. A little cut job by Fiers. Yeah, if the Rangers hang on and win and the Astros can't turn this one around, the Astros and Rangers will be tied in the loss column at 67. Calhoun has already struck out twice today. Curveball got him looking. Number 6 for Fiers, a 1-2-3 5th inning. We played 5. Astros trailing it 2-0.
Bombs over the Astros. Time now for our AT&T call to the bullpen. Andrew Heaney's day is done. Pitched quite effectively, going 5 shutout innings. Didn't get a chance to take a look at Fernando Salas' numbers, making his 61st appearance. Has an appearance in this series. He worked a scoreless inning on Friday night.
Salas, 30 years of age. From Sonora, Mexico. 6 years in the major leagues. And he's pitched well. ERA at about 3.5. Over his career, averaging just above 7.5 hits per 9 innings. Brings the strike to start it on Jonathan Villar, the 7-hitter. He'll be followed by Hank Conger and Jake Marisnick. We're in the 6th inning. The Astros lead in hits 6-4. But the Angels lead in home runs 2-0. Two balls and a strike on Villar. Jonathan has struck out that looking in the 2nd and then singled in the 4th inning and grounds out to Ibar. And Conger stands in 0 for 1. Been hit by a pitch. Waiting on deck, pinch hitter Preston Tucker to take over for Jake Marisnick. The Astros obviously needing to strike up some offense here this afternoon. Shift on Hank. Second baseman Featherston playing in the outfield grass. Effective changeup has it at 0-2. Just a very subtle breeze here in Anaheim. A lot of tough fans sitting down in the sun here, and maybe they're just used to it in Southern California.
They're used to the sun, but they're not used to this heat.
Ball hit up on press row and then kicked immediately to the folks right down in the box seats. Again, the 1-2 and the strikeout of Conger. That's 5 for Angels pitching. 2 outs here in the 6th inning. And now to make it official, Preston Tucker will pinch hit for Jake Marisnick, who wound up 0 for 2 on his day.
Good run on that fastball. Didn't hit his spot. These people are thinking happy thoughts with those yard signs. Crush City. They need to start seeing some of that right now from the Houston Astros. Get them back in this ball game. Looks like a beautiful day out there in Houston. Talked about Tucker's OPS earlier against left-handed pitching, 466. Against right-handers, jumps almost 400 points, up to around 840. All 12 of his home runs off right-handed pitching.
Preston's really excelled as a pinch hitter. A couple of his home runs coming as a pinch hitter. In fact, the first 2 he hit in the big leagues. We talk about Carlos Correa and Lance McCullers and Vince Velasquez. There's also Preston Tucker, of the young guys coming up this year and having a big impact. 25 years of age now.
Good take.
well back into the seats. One and two on Preston. Angels have a right-hander loosening in their pen and left. Tucker gets a piece and just enough to keep it out of the glove, as Trevor Gott is that right-hander loosening in the pen.
Live to fight another day.
They get him this time. A couple of strikeouts for Salas. A 1-2-3 6th. 2-0 Angels.
Fires pitching quite well. I know the line score is going to show you those 2 earned runs on 2 bombs, but he has absolutely owned Cole Calhoun. A couple of good fastballs, paint jobs on the inside and outside corners. He's showed great command of that changeup today. Locating the fastball, got that breaking ball working too, showing that he has the ability to hold down an offense, keeping the Astros in this ball game, still waiting for that offense to show up and answer.
Mike Trout leads off for the Angels in the 6th. Has homered and struck out. Solo home run in the first inning, number 35 on the year for Mike Trout. 77 ribbies. Preston Tucker, who came on as a pinch hitter now, is defensively in left field. That moves Colby Rasmus from left to center field. And of course, Preston Tucker no longer in there. 2 balls and a strike.
About the prodigious power that Mike Trout is showing early on in his career. The guy hitting behind him, Albert Pujols, obviously has a ton of home runs. But both these guys have hit 35 home runs apiece this year. They're the second pair of Angels ever to do that. The first pair was back in 2000, Garrett Anderson and Troy Gloss. And how about adding Mo Vaughn into that? All had 35 home runs on that 2000 team.
You talked about Fiers being pretty much on his game today, despite the 2 home runs. Hasn't walked a man. only one other start this year for Fiers without a walk. That against the San Francisco Giants while he was a member of the Brewers. Trout down on strikes again. Thrown out by Conger. Out number 1 here in the 6th. Check in with Julia.
Grab your boots, belt buckles, and cowboy hats and head out to Minute Maid Park for Boots, Scoot, and Barbecue on September 19th. This event features a pregame street festival, barbecue contest, and country music. Fans must have a valid ticket to the A's-Astros game to enter the festival. For more information, visit astros.com/bbq.
Thank you, Julia. Albert Pujols will now stand in. Albert's 0 for 2 on the day. .247 batting average. Shift on 3 infielders on the left side. And a 2-0 count on Sir Albert. Had 2 hits, including a double in yesterday's game. 0 for 4 in the opener. Taking all the way, sees the strike. The Astros are 8-7 in 15 meetings this year against the Angels. Pujols pops it up on the left side. Correa and Altuve battling. Altuve calls off Correa and makes the play. And the second out here in the inning. It brings up David Murphy, cleanup man and left fielder for the Angels. Runs in each of the first 2 innings for the Angels. And it's standing up to this point. Andrew Heaney, 5 shutout innings. In the air to left. Preston Tucker with his first opportunity. Glasses gleaming and makes the catch. A 1-2-3 6th inning. 6 innings in the books. 2-0 Angels on top.
done here in Los Angeles or somewhere near it. Team will head to Arlington, Texas. Big series there in Arlington. 4 games against the Texas Rangers, who are just behind the Houston Astros before heading back home, where they are quite comfortable playing. Hopefully make up some ground in the West, create some separation. But we've got probable pitchers in this next series coming up in Arlington. Kazmir and Hamels match up in that first game of that series. That should be pretty electric. Colin McHugh in that second game, Dallas Keuchel, Lance McCullers. So the Astros are throwing their best at the Texas Rangers, and it looks like the Rangers have lined up nicely to throw their best against the Houston Astros also. It should be a fun series in Texas.
Yeah, those are 4 of the remaining 7 the Astros have with the Texas Rangers. Rangers come in for 3 more, and they actually close out the regular season in Houston this year. Oakland, these Angels, and the Texas Rangers each coming in for 3 next week. As Trevor Gott comes on now, pitcher number 3 for the Angels. '23-year-old right-hander from Lexington, Kentucky. In his first year in the big leagues, 2-2 with the Angels. In his 37th appearance.
He has not allowed a run in 28 of his 36 previous appearances.
Falls behind 2-0 on George Springer, so it's the top of the order here in the 7th. Broken bat, little pop in right center, dropping, and drops for a base hit. George Springer is 2 for 4. And comes up with that leadoff single here in the 7th inning. And the Astros work some of that last 3-inning magic once again.
That's what you call getting blown up. In on the hands, watch this running fastball. That 2-seam rotation, that's a good look at it on the Supermo. But gets right off the label of George Springer. But young man is strong enough to drop that one in front of Cole Calhoun out there to start off this 7th inning.
And now Jose Altuve stands in. He's walked and doubled today. '31st double of the year for Jose. Came in the 5th inning. 5th leading hitter in the American League in terms of batting average. 2-0 the count. Gott is bringing it. Maybe that's what the Astros bats need right now.
Tell you what, Altuve's got a keyhole right now. Pick a pitch you want. If it is not the exact pitch in the location, let it go.
There goes Springer. Pitch a strike. Throw down. A strike, and they got him. And a costly first out here in the 7th.
How about the pickup of Carlos Perez for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim? Trading away Hank Conger. Carlos Perez was supposed to be that backup catcher, possibly a AAA catcher in the Angels organization. Now he's getting a chance to play every day, and defensive effort is what's making him a everyday ball player. Showing a quick release and a strong arm.
Yeah, he can throw. No question about it.
Tag right on that shoulder. Good job by Featherston just to drop the glove. Catch it right above the runner. No wasted motion. Just drop it down on him.
1 out and a 2-2 count on Altuve, who grounds one to second. Featherston, routine play, and 2 outs.
Astros have had 4 leadoff men out of 7 make it in this game. Obviously, none of them have scored.
Carlos Correa has walked in 3 plate appearances. 0 for 2 on the day. Texas Rangers now lead at 9-3 over Oakland. Rangers batting in the bottom of the 6th inning. Yankees shut out the Blue Jays 5-0. Indians 7-2 winners over the Tigers. Red Sox win it 2-0 at Tampa Bay as they win extra innings. And Carlos Correa is caught looking. That'll do it in the 7th inning. Still 2-0 as we stay right here for the singing of God Bless America.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise and remove your caps.
That I love, stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above, from the mountains to the prairies to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Come get a behind-the-scenes look at Minute Maid Park. Learn all about the ballpark by visiting areas like the historic Union Station, luxury suites, the Diamond Club, and much more. For more information, visit astros.com/tours or call 713-259-8996 to schedule your tour today. Somebody in Lake Jackson is dominating their yard sign game. Tracy family's got about 5 of them out there.
We move to the bottom of the 7th inning, 2-0 Angels. And one of the guys putting a run on the board right here, C.J. Cron. 2nd inning solo home run. Came on the heels of Mike Trout's 1st inning solo dinger. And that's been it. Well pitched afternoon. Mike Fiers has not walked a man and allowed just 4 hits to the Angels. The Astros with 7 hits, but unable to get on the board.
Ugh. You miss those days, don't you, Ash?
It's fun. It's fun stuff. And if you think, well, it hit the chest protector, those things are just not much.
Yeah.
Kind of like a couch cover.
These things are eyewash.
1-2 now on Cron. Fiers has 7 strikeouts. Crone having something to say to home plate umpire Dan Bellino. Crush to left center field. And this one is getting out of here. Second solo home run by C.J. Crone today. Number 14 on the year, and the Angels extend their lead. It's now 3-0 here in the seventh.
C.J. Crone is a big kid with a big bat, especially in this series. Third home run in the series for C.J. Crone. They've been monster shots, too. Got beat earlier in this AB on a fastball up in the zone. You want to bury this breaking ball. This one did not. You see center cut. And it's that old phrase, you hang it, you bang it. And he crushed that
one. 3 solo home runs on the afternoon.
3 mistakes from Fiers, and the Angels have not missed them at all.
And again, the Angels are not that team that goes out and slams home runs all the time. That's the Astros. Eric Ibar 1 for 2 on the day. Down the left side, Tucker is there. Backs up to make the play, out number 1. You're not going to be on the flight this afternoon, Blummer, but it's got a chance to be a quiet one.
Yeah, it really does. Road issues for these Houston Astros taking their toll.
It's game 6 of this 10-game trip. The Astros won game 3 in Oakland, and that's been it. Chad Qualls now loosens in the Astros pen. Joe Smith has been throwing in that pen for the Angels, and we've seen him a couple of times. David Freese is 1 for 2. There's Joe Smith. Submarining righty. Hit to short. Correa charges nicely, gets the second out of the inning. Bring up the catcher Carlos Perez.
This game ends the way it is, and the Astros end up getting swept in the series. It is going to be frustrating. It will be a quiet flight. But it'll be interesting to see how this team bounces back in a series, 4 games in Arlington, playing against their in-state rivals, now their division rivals. You know, that could be one of those situations where hopefully it invigorates them a little bit. Maybe there's something to draw from in that. Weather's going to probably be a little bit better. It's been smoking hot on the West Coast. These guys might be beat down a little bit here in September. You got to remember, there's guys on this roster who have yet to play in September in their entire careers.
Yeah.
And now they're doing it in a pennant chase.
Ball and a strike on Perez. Well, the motivation would seem to be there. And yet, as you say, there's just no telling how a guy reacts playing into that 6th month on the season, not counting spring training. Colby battling the Sun, and Sun wins that battle as it drops in right center field. It'll be a double for Carlos Perez.
Shades are on, the glove is up. Colby battling it, was unable to get into that angle to find that baseball. It is a tough spot to be in.
You know, watching Mike Trout in center field, he's turned the other way.
Yep.
Where he's had his back toward the right field side. Nine-hitter Taylor Featherston at the plate. Oh for his last 11.
And Trout, you know, veteran of Anaheim Stadium, knows where that sun's going to be on those day games. Kind of tough.
And that's the only reason I mention him as a guy who's played here and played a lot of day games, probably has a good clue as to how to play it. One and one on Featherston. They're in the top of the 7th inning in Arlington. It's now 9-4 as the A's put another run on the board. Curveball finds the strike zone. Colorado leads 3-2 at Seattle in the 5th inning. The Mariners have actually made a little bit of a move. Seattle's 7.5 back. Too little too late, but starting to push toward 500. Minnesota 7-0 winner at the White Sox. Every win a big win for the Twins right now. Cleveland Indians are actually still in that wild card hunt. They're leading over the Tigers 2-0 in the 2nd inning. The Indians are 4 games back, so they've got a lot of work to do. Featherston down on strikes. 8 on the afternoon for Mike Fiers, but another solo home run. 2nd on the day for C.J. Cron has extended that lead 3-0 Angels.
Los Angeles Angel of Anaheim, C.J. Cron, blasted one to left in his first at bat, and his 3rd at bat gets a hanging breaking ball, deposits that in the rock pile out there in left center field, counting for 2 runs on 2 bombs. 3 mistakes made by Mike Fiers, 2 of them to that guy, C.J. Cron.
Right-hander Joe Smith comes on now to work in the 8th inning, trying to protect this 3-0 lead for the Angels. And they've made some other changes as well. Caleb Coward takes over at 3rd base. Colin Cowgill in left. And Efren Navarro at 1st base. Official attendance over 41,000 today. Not that many in attendance, but some brave souls coming out to battle the sun here this afternoon. For the Astros here in the 8th, 4, 5, and 6. Evan Gattis leads it off. Marwin Gonzalez and Colby Rasmus to follow. In center field toward right center goes Mike Trout, and out number 1. To bring up Marwin Gonzalez, 1 for 3 on the day. Had an infield single in the 5th inning, grounding one up the middle and just beating the play. Nice play by Taylor Featherston. Infield fairly straight away. That breaking ball down and in that's given Marwin a tough time.
Yeah, that's really the only weakness I've seen in his game throughout the course of the season. It's a tough time laying off that slider down and in, that back foot slider.
Counted 1 and 2 on Marwin. Texas Rangers in the 7th inning. Trying to pick up a very big win for them today. The Angels with a win today would be just 2.5 back. Last 20 days or so of the season has a chance to be very interesting. Marwin takes strike 3.
That's a pretty nasty slider, backdoor slider from Joe Smith. Just a little bit off the plate, and I think Marwin's got a little bit of a beef.
Further off the plate than some other 2-strike pitches we've seen go the other way. 2 outs in the inning. Colby Rasmus will stand in. Ground ball on the right side. Touched by Ibar, but Featherston still makes the play. And that'll do it. Smith comes on, has a 1-2-3 8th inning. 3-0 Angels. Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by HEB. No store does more than my HEB. Sights and sounds of Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California. The Angels trying to sweep away the Astros. Lead it 3-0 as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. And left-hander Tony Sipp comes on to work it. Second pitcher of the day for the Astros.
It'll be his 51st appearance, but the last time we saw Tony Sipp was on August 26th in New York against those Yankees, where he got his 10th hold of the season. He's thrown 14 scoreless innings since the All-Star break.
Sipp will work it to the top of the order. Cole Calhoun, Mike Trout, and Albert Pujols. Shift on for Calhoun. He is yet to put a ball in play today. He has struck out all 3 at bats.
Three strikeouts, all looking. Did not have a fun afternoon against Mike Fiers.
He's got that sombrero already. The question is, can he make it golden? But the story on the day, 3 solo home runs by the California, or rather LA Angels of Anaheim. Old habits are hard to break. Mike Trout, that came in the first inning, and 2 by C.J. Cron, 1 in the second, 1 in the 7th. Three and one.
It's a good sign if you're keeping an eye on Tony Sipp. 92 miles an hour. That was one of the issues I think he was having before he started having the issues, is that velocity started to drop big time.
Mike Fiers did not walk a man in his 7 innings. And that's just the second start of the year for Mike Fiers in which he did not walk a man. It's been Andrew Heaney, Fernando Salas, Trevor Gott, and Joe Smith on the hill for the Angels today. All adding up to no runs for Houston. 4th time today, Cole Calhoun down on strikes and out number 1 in the 8th.
Just a fastball by Cole Calhoun and that 3-2 count. Rough day.
And as the Astros make a change on the mound, Tony Sipp gets his man. They go to the bullpen once again, and we break it. We'll be right back.
to follow the action of Astros baseball is with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, highlights, replay reviews, scores, StatCast, live radio broadcasts, and more. Get the MLB.com at bat app now. On for the Houston Astros is going to be big right-hander Chad Qualls, making his 54th appearance on the season.
.775 career appearances now for Chad. Not a single start along the way. Mike Trout at the plate has homered and struck out twice. Strikeouts have been mounting considerably for Mike Trout once again. Led the league in strikeouts last year. Mike Trout struck out 184 times. He's at 140 this year. Takes a strike, it's 2-1. Played in just 40 games in 2011. Since then, he's made the All-Star team 4 consecutive years. Tell me that pitch is high.
Not with 100% certainty.
I say not a chance. Yeah, there was a chance. Ground ball hit to short. Bit of a tough hop. Correa with that good arm to get Trout. And the second out of the inning.
Day games on hot days. Field hardens out in a hurry. Creates some interesting hops. Good job by Carlos Correa. Gather this one in. Ball's hit pretty well, but watch that last one, just jumps. Good job of staying with it. Shows off that strong arm.
2 outs, bases empty for Albert Pujols. He's 0 for 3 on the day. Five more years, make that 6 more years on the deal for Albert Pujols with the Angels. And he's already at 555 career home runs. Got a real good chance of being another one of the very few 600 homer guys.
Hits 40 this year. He'll only have to hit 50 next year to get to that 600.
He's been so consistent in terms of the home runs. In his heyday, topped out at 47, make that 49. Never got to 50, but hanging out in that 40 company year after year. Two and two on Albert. You know, on top of it all, he's a .313 lifetime hitter.
That doesn't shock me.
Kind of like Jeff Bagwell, to go with all the home runs he hit. He'd hit right around that 300 mark.
We were talking about Vladimir Guerrero the other day in the food room, and he has a career .318 average, I believe. That was impressive. He's got real similar numbers to Jeff Bagwell. Vladimir does.
Wonder if Vladimir Guerrero hit higher on strikes or balls.
I think he mashed them all. He was not picky at all. You get it in the vicinity, he's going to give it a rip.
Barrel into the bat, goes flying down the third base side. Pujols takes the other end of the bat and taps it on the head of Hank Conger.
Ex-teammates having a good time. I'm sure Conger had a comment saying, wow, got a hold of that one, Albert. D. Sarcina running for cover.
Are they sending you some of my bats now? Three and two. Hit to right and hit sharply, but Springer's there to make the play. 1, 2, 3 as they go down in the 8th inning. And in the 9th, Astros down 3. It's 7, 8, 9 coming up.
Mako, big hit of the game, and really the only one the Angels needed. It's that first inning home run from Mike Trout on a fastball down where he likes it, golfs it out of here over both bullpens. And that has proved to be the difference. CJ Cron's added a couple, but the Mako big hit is obviously off of Mike Trout's bat, considering the situation right now with the Astros being shut out.
Yeah, now if the Astros are going to get it done, they'll do it against the closer of the Angels, Houston Street. He's picked up saves in each of the first 2 games of the series. And he faces the bottom 3 spots in the order.
With those 2 saves, he is up to 35, and that leads the American League in saves. He is tied with Goose Gossage for 22nd all-time with 310 career saves.
That's impressive stuff. Guy from Austin, Texas. Drafted originally by the Oakland A's, first rounder back in 2004, and he's made quite a career of it. Jonathan Villar tries to get something started. Luis Valbuena has a bat waiting on deck. That's the Hank Conger spot. Villar would appear to be in that take some pitches mode and see if he can coax a walk, any way to get on base.
Movement in that box from Jonathan Villar.
Good thing he was able to jump and get out of the way of that one. Shallow and left. Cowgill, out number 1.
Stay tuned for Astros post game, presented by Houston Methodist. We'll be hanging out with Kevin Eschenfelder and Mike Stanton.
And now the pinch hitter, Luis Valbuena, batting for Conger. Conger went 0 for 2, was hit by a pitch as he reached in the 4th inning. No taken there. Valbuena after the first pitch, hitting .209 on his season.
It's pretty obvious from the numbers Valbuena's put up on this season. He's up there for one reason. Take a big hack. Try and get the Astros on the board.
Preston Tucker waits on deck. The Astros need to find a way to get into the top of the order. Oh, and 2 now on Valbuena. Angels are playing Valbuena shallow in left field, deep in right. Count evens at 2-2. Valbuena now 29 years of age. He'll stay alive at 2-2. For Valbuena, best month on the year was August in terms of batting average, hitting .258. Best month in terms of home runs, 9 in the month of June. Also drove in 17 that month. But down on strikes, second out here in the 9th inning. Bases are empty for Preston Tucker.
Heater upstairs.
Tucker came on as a pinch hitter in the 6th inning, batting for Jake Marisnick. Wound up striking out to end that inning. And now just some way to get on base. It's Springer, Altuve, and Correa to the plate. Preston has 12 long balls and a 1-1 count. Down to a strike in Anaheim. Angels trying to drop the sweep on the Astros. The Astros would drop to 9 games over 500. They've been as high as 14 games over a number of times. Hammered to right field, deep at the wall, and getting out. Preston Tucker snaps the shutout. It's now 3-1, and all 4 runs in the game coming on solo dingers. Preston Tucker now with 13 home runs.
Oh, smashed. Some late life coming out of these Houston Astros, hopefully. The beauty in that, it's a great thing that Preston Tucker did hit that home run. See him get on top of this heater. Wanted to go down and in, but up and in. And the tomahawk job from Preston Tucker puts the Astros on the board. But the good thing about that, turn that lineup over.
Yeah, back to the top now, and George Springer has that same assignment. He needs to get on base. Altuve's the guy that would represent the tying run if he should come to the plate. Big swing by George. Count runs to 0-2. And again down to a strike for Houston.
He made a mistake with 2 strikes on Tucker maybe will make one right here for George Springer. Just find a way to extend this game.
Just getting a piece and staying alive is Springer.
It's a healthy two-strike hack.
One ball and 2 strikes. Rangers lead the A's 9-4 late. Yeah, that's the only game that really means anything to the Astros right now. In the air to right center field. Diving, can't get there, is Calhoun. Extra bases for Springer. He'll dig for third. And he's in with a 3-bagger. So with 2 outs and 2 strikes, the Astros get the home run from Preston Tucker. And now the triple from Springer. And Altuve comes to the plate representing the tying run.
Keep pushing, boys. Springer cutting down on that swing a little bit. All he has to do is go out and get it. We know he's strong enough to drive the ball out of any part of this ballpark. But a good thing about being strong, too, is you don't have to swing very hard to get it past an outfielder. Found that gap. And with Cole Calhoun going down with the dive, he's able to get all the way into third base. Now a wild pitch, pass ball, gets him home. Altuve just focusing on getting on base somehow. Bring Carlos Correa to the plate.
Hit into left center field, dropping for a hit. That'll score Springer. It's now a 1-run game and that familiar score here in the series. 3-2 Angels. Can Carlos Correa be the difference maker?
Seen him do it in the past. Right man, right spot. And how big is that home run by Preston Tucker, able to turn this lineup over and get some of these guys at the top of the Astros order that they lean on so consistently throughout the course of the season. Springer steps up with that triple. Altuve backs him up with that base hit. Now you got a meeting on the mound on how to approach Carlos Correa. Ball's not killed. Probably not the best pitch to go after, but the aggressiveness of Altuve, able to get that base hit and keep this thing going.
By the way, not bad news for the Astros. 3 hits for Springer today, 2 for Altuve, and now Carlos Correa looking for his first of the afternoon. That's 11 Houston hits. Good swing by Carlos. And a heck of a catch down the right field side in the upper tank. Jed Lowry has a bat waiting on deck. Hot shot, diving stop, Featherston.
Kicking it out of his
has
glove.
no play.
Oh,
Ball
man.
gets stuck in the webbing of the glove.
Are you serious?
And it's an infield single. Stopping at second, Altuve. And that'll bring up Jed Lowry as a pinch hitter for Evan Gattis. 4 consecutive 2-out hits here in the 9th.
I don't think I've ever seen an infielder have that happen to him. Usually it's a smash back to the pitchers. Maybe a first baseman playing in every now and then, but that is unbelievable. He had a chance to end this game with an unbelievable play, laying out to his right. But the ball hit so hard that it sticks in the webbing. What are the chances? Could this be the break that the Astros have been waiting for in September?
And now it's in the hands of a guy who didn't start the day. Jed Lowry comes on as a pinch hitter. They appeal to third, do not get the swing. Wow.
Yeah.
All with 2 outs, and remember, there were 2 strikes on Preston Tucker when he launched one.
That's all right. You're loose now, Jed.
Ball and a strike on Lowry.
Good pitch to hit. The only benefit I felt when I came off the bench and pinch hit, sometimes that swing and miss kind of loosened everything up a little bit. Got your wits about you, but if he makes that pitch again, I expect Jed Lowry to get on top of it and hit it. Oh,
Just missing. It's 2-1.
that didn't look like a bad pitch from Houston Street. Caught the bottom edge.
Hit high down the right field side. Deep at the foul pole. Right at the pole. And it gets out of here. Jed Lowry has hit a pinch hit 3-run home run. And the Astros lead it 5-3 in this unbelievable 9th inning.
What a game. Again, the Cardiac Kids, they found a way to do it at home in those late innings with their last at bat. What possibly could be their last at bat, they found a way on the road. A potential out caught in the web of Featherston leads to Jed Lowry getting an opportunity in the top of the 9th inning. I can't wait to see the replays because he did hit it well enough, obviously, to get it out of the ballpark. My question is, how did Cole Calhoun not catch that ball?
I thought he had the ball.
He was camped.
Yep. That's it for Houston Street. He heads to the third base dugout as the Angels are going to go to the bullpen. But I'm with you. I was waiting to say Cole Calhoun makes the play, and it's all over.
The ball was launched, and it was high enough. It had the trajectory, but the ball was in the air so long that Cole Calhoun had an opportunity in his home ballpark to get back to the wall. There you see him feeling for it with that left hand. Just mistimes that jump. You could see he kind of grazed himself on the wall, and that ball gets out of here. To quote Jack Buck from a long time ago in the '88 World Series, I know this is still a regular season game, but I don't believe what my eyes just saw.
Unbelievable.
He was in position to catch that ball.
Looked like he almost got stuck on the wall. Maybe
it did.
Maybe his hip up into that padding and couldn't get up off the ground. He had the left hand perched on the top of the wall as if to help him jump, and then just never got it done.
That is incredible.
With 2 outs and 2 strikes, Preston Tucker hits a home run. Kind of a feel-good moment for Preston Tucker. That was about it.
Well, a feel-good moment for the team. They're like, sweet, we didn't get shut out again.
Maybe. George Springer gets a couple of strikes on him and then triples to right center on a ball that just eluded the glove of Calhoun. Altuve and Correa come up with hits, and then Jed Lowry does this.
Hanging changeup, but I love it. You gotta love it. It takes all 25 guys. They have been sitting back waiting for that 3-run blast all road trip, it feels like, and here, no bigger moment than they need. Unbelievable.
So if you don't believe in fairy tales, might want to rethink that one.
Just change the noise level on that flight you were talking about.
Yeah, that changes things around a little bit right now. 5-3 Houston. All 5 runs with 2 outs in the 9th inning. Marwin Gonzalez comes to the plate against Jose Alvarez. Shows bunt and takes a strike.
25 runs with 2 outs. What in the world?
What do you think the Texas Rangers and their fans just thought as they saw 5 go up on the board for Houston?
Judging by my tweets, I know what the Astro fans are thinking. They're in jubilation back home in Houston. These Crush City signs are coming in handy right now. Wow.
Jed Lowry had that big grand slam against the Minnesota Twins to aid in a victory, the final game of the recent homestand. And now this swing.
That is now 218 runs the Astros have scored from the 7th inning on out of their 625 runs on the season.
Okay, you're the analyst. Why?
Got a flair for the dramatic.
Thing is, there's not a guy in that dugout who could tell you honestly why. You're going to get some responses of, well, we love the pressure and all that sort of thing. But there's no answer.
It just happens. But when you're having seasons like the Houston Astros are having, being in first place for as long as they have been, you need these types of things to happen.
Houston Street picked up a couple of saves in the first 2 games of the series as he came in with 1-run leads. Came in with a 3-run lead here in game 3, and it gets away.
Good grief.
Marlins in some pain.
Got him on that front hip, it looked like.
Rex Jones, longtime trainer, coming out to attend to Marwin. And of course, Rex is going to be retiring at the end of this season. He would love to do it with a ring.
Oh, man. That lower leg.
Sixth consecutive hitter to reach in the 9th inning. I don't think Angels fans know how to react right about now.
Well, at home, you hit a home run and the place goes bonkers. Especially those walk-off wins the Astros have been able to pull off. There is a certain amount of joy for these Astros. I hope they understand going on the road and quieting these people. Because that's part of the excitement of winning on the road, is that you have a chance to do something like that against a division opponent and just leave a sour taste on the road trip for these guys. That is a good feeling too. They need to understand that. They can do it. I think this might be a little bit of a boost to their confidence, understanding that, hey, we can still come back late in these ball games even if we are on the road.
Look, we know it's not over. But the Angels were 1 pitch away from being 2.5 games out, and the Texas Rangers potentially 1 pitch away from being a half game out and tied in the loss column. Rasmus is the 9th hitter of the inning. It started out with VR flying out shallow to left. Luis Valbuena pinch hit for Hank Conger and struck out. And then 2 quick strikes on Preston Tucker. And then that unpredicted storm just swept right on in.
2 out, 2 strike hits, and then a ball stuck in the webbing of Featherston. Are you kidding me? Oh, my.
Rake down the right field side at the pole, and it goes foul.
Turn and burn right here for Colby. Springer is ready to fire up Club Astro again in that dugout.
Nobody down there would mind 2 more runs. Just away. Now, I was just thinking it's one of those days. You've been around the game a long time yourself. In the Angels clubhouse after the game, it's the easy. It's all right, guys. Keep battling. You took 2 out of 3. Just keep going and doing it. In the Astros clubhouse, it's just a complete turnaround. There goes Marwin, and ball 4 is delivered. That'll put runners at first and second and bring up Jonathan VR. And maybe it's not quite that easy for the Angels, but...
Well, I think you hit on it with a 2.5 lead the Astros would have over the Angels. I mean, you talk about striking distance. Now you've blown a save, you've blown a game, and you go to 3.5 games. I mean, but that could stick around mentally in your skull for a while.
You go actually to 4.5 if you're the Angels and lose this game.
4.5, yeah.
Now, every loss head up is the double figure, and Mike Scioscia says that's enough. He'll go to his bullpen once again. Yeah, if you're just checking in again, that's right. 5-3 Astros lead it here in the 9th inning, and we'll be right back. Inning, have a couple of runners aboard as the Angels go to the bullpen once again for Mike Morin. But this is the play on the Jed Lowry pinch hit 3-run dinger. Look at that left hip of Calhoun. Did it get stuck in the padding as he tried to leap?
Well, that left knee got stuck in the wall as he proceeded to try and jump, and that held him down just enough, because the way that ball came straight down and landed in the first row. He is not going to want to watch a replay of that.
Mike Morin comes on for his 34th appearance on the year, facing Jonathan VR, who started the inning flying out softly to left field. Morin, the 7th pitcher of the afternoon for the Angels. Heaney, Salas, Gott, Smith, Street, Alvarez. And now Morin. 1-1 the count on VR. By the way, with that home run, Jed Lowry, as a side note, now has 9 long balls on the year. So he, along with Marisnick, are in that position to be in the double-digit club.
Talk about the disbelief and pure deflation. The ups and downs of being a closer. How about the 5 runs Houston Street has given up as a career high?
Strike 3 called on VR. He's caught And that'll do it for the Astros as they send 10 to the plate in the 9th inning and score 5 times. To the bottom of the 9th we go. It's 5-3 Houston. Top of the 9th, it's 5-3 Houston. And now Luke Gregerson comes in to close it down, and he'll work it with new catcher Max Stassi.
Last time Gregerson was out there was back at home against Minnesota. So it's been a while. He pitched third of an inning, got the save, that 26th on the season. In here to shut down this Angels lineup, and it's important to note too that he will be facing 2 defensive replacements in Cowgill, Navarro, and then have to face the shortstop Eric Ibar. So interesting how a defensive replacement is going to come in and factor into this game.
And now David DeJesus comes to the plate as a pinch hitter for the Angels. This is the 4 spot in the order. DeJesus, Navarro, and Ibar due up. Gregerson has the count even at 1-1. Jed Lowry, who hit this pinch hit home run to give the Astros the lead when they were trailing 3-2. Line drive right at Marwin, who nonchalantly handles it, and out number 1. But again, back to Lowry. He also in 2008 eliminated the Angels with a walk-off single in the ALCS Game 4. So Jed Lowry has had quite a history with the Angels.
Good.
Keep it that way?
Yeah.
1 out. C.J. Cron hit a couple of home runs today, but he came out for a defensive replacement. That replacement, Efren Navarro, will bat now in the 9th. Navarro hitting .260. Rangers have had a big day today. They lead 12-4 now in the 9th inning with the A's in their last chance. 1-2 the count. Colby Rasmussen, center, swung well over to the left side. And down on strikes, Navarro. So the slider gets him. 2 outs in the 9th inning. Eric Ibar comes to the plate. And you get enough of that shot by Jed Lowry.
Look at him just lean back on it, too, elevating it high. Down that right field line. Majestic shot.
Has there been a bigger moment all season for the Astros?
Go back early in April, George Springer robbing that grand slam, possible grand slam for a win. That was a big one.
That was a big one. Hank Conger came on and hit a home run to win it. They've had a number of big ones. But yeah, this one would certainly be on the short list. Ibar is 1 for 3. Yeah, when you're down 3-0, 2 outs, nobody on base, and a couple of strikes on you in the 9th inning, and you come back and win it, and of course that home run by Lowry being so big because the Astros were still trailing 3-2 up until that swing.
That swing was a personality changer.
Life is suddenly a lot better for A.J. Hinch. Ground ball. 2 hops for Altuve. He'll get the out, and that'll do it. The Astros come back and take 1 out of 3 against the Angels here in Anaheim. Preston Tucker is the guy who got the 9th inning started as he launched his 13th home run, and it went from there. And then Jed Lowry sewed it all up with the pinch hit 3-run home run. And the Astros put a real hurt on the Angels. And no doubt the Texas Rangers are feeling it as well in Arlington. Final today, the Astros win it 5-3 to close things out in Anaheim. And let's take one more look at that big home run by Jed Lowry.